In today's episode, we recap everything that happened yesterday at day one of 2019's social media marketing world. It was the all access workshops and stuff today. A few takeaways I thought were really useful. One, Robert Rose from CMI, Content Marketing Institute, did a fantastic job of outlining different content marketing strategies and three things that really stood out for me as sort of mental takeaways that you can just keep in your mind. If you're trying to determine what kind of content strategy to go after, he said you can, with your content, solve a small problem for a big audience or solve a big problem for a small audience by being very specific in the problem that you solve. You can either appeal to a large group of people, or you can drive tremendous loyalty from a small group of people. And he gave a bunch of examples of this, but I thought that was just a really insightful way of communicating in a very simple matter how to build your content. So that was really useful. He also outlined two case studies of companies that had identified non-traditional competitors when it comes to content marketing. He said for Netflix, when Netflix looks at its competition and getting more eyeballs and getting more views and getting people to remain engaged with the service, they don't view Hulu or YouTube or network television as a competition. And he said they view the number one biggest competitor for getting more views as sleep. Because that occupies obviously the lion's share of most people's days. So what can they do to claim more time, which is interesting, slightly scary because sleep is really important, but I thought that was a very interesting point. He said when you look at the way Airbnb does its content marketing, Airbnb did market research and found that they were not in competition with the hotels of the world. What they were in competition with was people choosing not to go anywhere, people who weren't traveling. And so their content marketing strategy pivoted to focus on being like a travel magazine of sorts, of getting people to, convincing people you actually should go on a vacation, you should go on a trip in order to drive usage and adoption of their products. So those are some really clever and interesting ideas. I attended a session as well on AI for marketers given by somebody who runs an ad agency, and it was an odd mashup of some of the basics of AI, but then the speaker, whose name eludes me, focused largely on just using Google AdWords and what things do and don't work within Google AdWords today, which was good, but it wasn't really. He could have done, and he probably has done, the AdWords portion of that talk and not needed the AI part, because I don't know that it added any value. A couple things that were cool takeaways. The True View for actions, which allows you to convert, to only pay when someone converts, was interesting because it does put a nice end cap call to action on your videos. And a lot of the new cost per action stuff within AdWords, of getting people only paying when you get a lead or a sale, as opposed to paying per click or per impression, which in this day and age when Facebook is trying to get in market share in advertising, and a lot of people having issues with the way Facebook does its pricing, might be an interesting advantage for Google. And then I had some fun hallway conversations as well. I was talking to Melanie Desiel about the use of data, when and where and how to get more data for projects that you're working on. And fundamentally, it comes down to sort of the 6C framework for data, one of which is comprehensive. What are the questions you're trying to answer? And once you know that, you can go out and find data that will inform or deepen or broaden the points that you're trying to make. And if you're trying to do things like explain to people how to be creative, for example. There is a tremendous amount of data on creativity, on the ways people measure creativity and things that would probably be useful. Jay Bear and I were sitting down in the speaker's room, and we were talking about people who put tag 30 people per post on Instagram or Twitter. And so we reused the data set that Trust Insights used for counting hashtags, whether hashtags mattered, and repurposed that to count the number of handle tags in posts to see, does that matter? Does that tactic work for driving engagement? And the answer is no, not really. What drives engagement is, more than anything, of course, is the content itself and things. But in terms of a tactic to get people to pay attention to you, it's not great. At least from the data set that we're working with, which is about 4 million posts on Instagram and on Twitter. So some useful takeaways there. No need to spend a whole lot of time on hashtags. I forget who I was talking to, but someone wanted me to talk a bit about that study that we did on the Trust Insights website about why hashtags don't lead to more growth. And the short answer is, when people search on Instagram, for example, they don't necessarily search for the hashtag. They just search for the word, right? You don't search for hashtag coffee. You just search for coffee. So if your post naturally has those terms in it anyway, you'll get the eyeballs regardless of whether you use the hashtag, which is a really pretty basic observation. So today, a whole bunch of sessions to go to. We'll have some more interesting takeaways and things to share. But as always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. We'll talk to you soon.
Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.